Wilson Morales from Black Film TV. Hello, folks. How are you?
Hey, Wilson. How are you?
Good. You know, when you have this much caliber of talent in a movie, for me personally, it's either a hit or a miss. I think it's a hit. Idris, you're playing Rufus Buck. People have seen or have heard of the character before. What did you want to add to, obviously this is a whole different take from what people know of the books. So what did you want to add to it outside of what Jeymes had in the script?
I wanted to add some humility. You know, I wanted to, Rufus Buck gang is notorious by name and nature, and I wanted to just add something that made him a little bit relatable, a little bit likable perhaps, but at least somebody loves him. In this case, it's Trudy, and that relationship is central to the film. Whether you hate the Rufus Buck gang or not, you know they are one. You know what I'm saying? Cherokee Bill, Trudy, Rufus, they are one. They're solid. And even though the town is a little bit fearful of them, they believe in what he's trying to do. So that's what I wanted to add to this as a performance.
Regina, obviously Trudy and the rest of that gang is a ride or die with Rufus. You know, they're going to go to the end of the earth to get him out. You know, with this and without spoilers, you know, I saw that your skill set improved when it comes to action. You know, were you prepared for that when you read your side? You're like, okay, this is where we're going.
Well, I mean, you know, I did do this show called Watchmen that required me to be physically capable to do a lot. Actually, I thought it was one of the coolest parts about the story, because normally that scene would have been Rufus and Nat, you know, in most stories. And instead it's Trudy and Mary. And it was great to have a partner in Zazie that believed in it and wanted it to be as good and as real as I did. And I was ready for it. My knees were ready, my elbows were ready. I was ready.
You know, as fictional as the story may be, you do have some characters that people are aware of. And how important is it for, you know, people to just know who these Black cowboys were? You know, it's not that often you hear these names in any Western films. You know, so that, you know, and Jeymes had done a previous short where he had some of these characters. So how important is it for people to get involved and know that they were Black cowboys and weren't just out there? There were a few of them, but just they were there. Idris?
My daughter's 19 years old. She came to the premiere and she had no clue. And she went off the next day back to NYU and she was like, I'm going to go write a story about historical Black characters, because if I don't, who will? That's how important it is.
Mm-hmm. Regina?
I agree 100% with Idris. You know, you always hear that old saying, you know, you don't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been. And just as Black people, our entire story has been revised. And if we don't actively seek the true history, how do we know where we're going, right?
Exactly. You know, films will have us believe that we were just slaves and blah, blah, blah. They don't want to talk to about, you know, the countless Black towns that are now sitting underneath lakes, the countless self-contained economies that Black people had in not only Africa, but America, but across the Caribbean. You don't know about those stories. Why? Because, you know, it's the way that history is told them. So that's why it's important that you see a Western and you see these characters, you never heard of them before, and you're like, what? You know, and you're just as enthralled in the story as any other movie, superhero movie, whatever. But you're getting a history lesson. These people are real.
You know, it's been a fun ride watching this movie. It's always good to talk and see you guys. Hopefully at some point we'll do it in person. But wherever you're at, stay safe. We'll talk down the road.
Thank you.
Take care.